Hey everyone, it's Klepik again. Today, we're diving into a question that I get asked all the time. When should you get a wet scrubber instead of a baghouse? Let's break it down in a way that's easy to understand. What's the difference? Before we get into when you should choose one over the other, let's quickly cover the basics. Baghouse filters are designed to collect dust and other particles from the air using fabric filter bags. They're great for dry dust and particulate matter, especially in industries like metalworking, cement production, and food processing. The dust gets trapped in the bags, and clean air is sent back into the facility or outside. The filter bags are then cleaned, either by shaking, reverse air, or a pulse of compressed air. On the other hand, wet scrubbers use liquids, typically water or chemical solutions, to wash out pollutants from the air. The contaminated air is passed through the liquid, which captures dust, gases, and even some vapors. Wet scrubbers are commonly used in industries dealing with gases, fumes, or materials that are sticky, hot, or reactive with water. When to use a baghouse now? Baghouses are fantastic at handling dry, non-sticky dust particles. If your operation generates a lot of dry dust, like in woodworking, cement mixing, or metal grinding, baghouses are often the go-to solution. They're efficient at collecting dust, are available in different sizes, and can handle high volumes of air. If you're dealing with dust that doesn't pose much of a risk of clumping, catching fire, or reacting with air, a baghouse might be your best bet. They're also more energy efficient than wet scrubbers in many situations because they don't require the use of water or chemicals, making them more cost-effective over time. Baghouses also have the advantage of being relatively low maintenance. As long as the filter bags are cleaned regularly, you can get years of service out of a well-maintained baghouse. When to consider a wet scrubber? Now, let's talk about wet scrubbers and why you might need one instead of a baghouse. Handling hot, moist, or sticky materials. Wet scrubbers shine in environments where you're dealing with high temperatures, moisture, or sticky particles. If you're in an industry where fumes, vapors, or sticky dust is being produced, a wet scrubber can handle that much better than a baghouse. In industries like chemical processing or food production, where steam or sticky byproducts are part of the process, wet scrubbers can clean the air without clogging or damaging the system. Baghouses, on the other hand, would struggle with sticky materials that could coat the filter bags and reduce their efficiency. Controlling hazardous gases. Wet scrubbers are also excellent at controlling gases and fumes that would pass right through a dry filter bag. For example, if you're working in a plant where harmful gases like sulfur dioxide, chlorine, or hydrogen chloride are part of the emissions, a baghouse wouldn't be able to trap them. Wet scrubbers, especially those that use chemical additives in the liquid, can neutralize or capture these gases before they're released into the atmosphere. Explosive or combustible dust. Another situation where wet scrubbers outperform baghouses is when you're dealing with explosive or combustible dust. In industries like metal finishing or pharmaceuticals, where dust particles can easily ignite, using a baghouse might pose a fire or explosion risk. Wet scrubbers significantly lower that risk by using water to capture the particles, making it much safer for environments where combustion is a concern. Fire prevention. If you're working in an industry where sparks, high heat, or flammable materials are a common hazard, a wet scrubber provides an extra layer of safety. Water naturally helps reduce the risk of fire, which can be crucial in industries like metalworking or plastic manufacturing, where dust can be volatile. Odor control. Wet scrubbers are great at handling not just particles but odors too. If your operation involves any kind of organic material or chemicals that produce strong smells, a wet scrubber can help neutralize those odors more effectively than a baghouse. This is especially useful in food processing plants, wastewater treatment facilities, and any industry dealing with organic materials. Wet scrubbers. Some challenges. Of course, wet scrubbers aren't without their own challenges. The use of water or chemicals means there's a lot more upkeep involved. You'll need to manage water levels, ensure that the scrubbing solution is functioning correctly, and deal with the disposal of dirty water or sludge. In some cases, you may also need to treat the water before you can discharge it, which can add to operating costs. Wet scrubbers also tend to use more energy than baghouses. Running pumps, maintaining water pressure, and handling liquid circulation require more power, which can increase your energy bills. Additionally, they often require more space, so they're not always the best choice for facilities where space is limited. When to choose? Wet scrubbers over baghouses. To recap, here's when you should lean toward choosing a wet scrubber. When you're dealing with high temperature or sticky materials. When gases and fumes are part of the equation, especially hazardous ones. If your operation produces explosive or combustible dust. When fire prevention is a top priority. If odor control is critical to your facility. The hybrid solution, wet scrubber and baghouse. Together. Sometimes you don't have to choose one or the other. In certain industries, using a wet scrubber and a baghouse together can provide a more comprehensive solution. For instance, a wet scrubber can handle the initial heavy lifting by removing gases and moisture, and then a baghouse can handle any remaining fine dust. This combination ensures both gas and particle control while maximizing efficiency and safety. So, when it comes to choosing between a wet scrubber and a baghouse, it really depends on your specific needs. If you're dealing with dry, non-sticky dust and want a low-maintenance, energy-efficient solution, go with a baghouse. But if you've got sticky, hot, or hazardous materials to deal with, a wet scrubber might be the better choice. And remember, if you ever need help figuring out which system is right for you, Torch Air is here to help. Get in touch with us for expert advice and the best solutions for your air filtration needs. That's all for today, folks. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.